What's up, clan? Island Trader FX here again, back with another one. I hope the week was good to you. I hope you had a good trading week. I certainly did. Of course, we're just going to be doing a bit of trade recaps. I think in total I took 3 trades or 2 trades. I'm not 100% sure. There was one I did record while I was in the trade, so look out for that. But essentially, we're just going to be doing a basic breakdown. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Ciao. Okay, now that we're on the chats, let's just get down to business right away. I noticed I actually took those trades on separate accounts. On the 25k, I took the gold trade, which I'm coming to, and the oil trade that I'm about to do the top down on. I took that on a evaluation account that I'm currently working on. So just gonna show the receipts, and of course you'll see it for yourself. So let's just jump down to it. For oil. Oil is actually a pair that I used to trade very often, not even gonna lie. Things used to play out so nicely because the volatility with oil is just awesome. But it gave me some licks. Oil gave me some beatings in the past, and I took a break from it. But I came back to it, and let's see what we have here. So essentially, oil has been bearish for quite a while. As you could see, bearish structure moving to the downside. I took a trade on oil a while back. I think it was back down to this week here. Excuse me, it was back down to this week here, from that sell when they retraced all the way to the upside. I took a trade back down to the week. But my thought process at the time after that trade was, I was done with oil for a while. I said I would just look into other pairs. But coming back to oil, I noticed that price was moving bullishly back up to those highs. But I'm thinking, okay, there is no PD arrays, or discount opportunities for oil to continue to sell off. So why are they pushing to the upside? So, throughout my trading, I just continued to study it and the way that it was moving, etc. And I noticed this consolidation, right? And after a consolidation, you could always expect a expansion to the upside or to the downside. I noticed this daily fair value gap right here at one point. Okay, this is essentially in the consolidation, and then on a later date I noticed oil pushing outside of this consolidation. So that in itself gave me some hope or insight that there's a possibility that oil wants to push to the upside. I continued trading, didn't really bother with it until I got this, the second fair value gap, daily fair value gap, daily bullish fair value gap to the upside. When I got that, I said to myself, it looks like they really want to push to the upside. I definitely did not want to be greedy. Usually, as you guys know, I'd usually target the close of the 4 hour or the daily, etc. And you could see the close is all the way up here. So if we go to our line chart, we could see the close is all the way up here, and this would have made for 1 to 5 trade. But of course I did not do that. I definitely did not do that because I understood that for the majority of the time oil has been bearish. Okay, and when I went up in time frames, I didn't see oil tapping into any bullish PD array that would say, any bullish PD array that would quickly hint at, okay, so oil is now moving to the upside. All I was looking at is how the candles were playing out candle by candle. You understand how the market was playing out candle by candle. And when oil gave me this second daily fair value gap, I just said to myself, okay, great. I'm going to target, if we're looking at this range here, I said I'm going to target 50% of that range in the event that for whatever reason they just wanted to sweep those highs right here and right here and continue crashing to the downside. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and target 50% of that range, which was about here, and then I would have put my stops under this low here, which kind of started the expansion, right? So this is what I did. Oil came, they tapped into the fair value gap. I placed my stops right here and I targeted a nice 1:2, and as you could see, it hit TP within 2 days. But then you had this massive push on oil. But at the end of the day, you have to have rules, you have to set boundaries. You're not going to get the full move every single time. It's not going to happen. And if you develop a habit of trying to get a full move every time, essentially you imposing your will on the market. And there will be times where you could have come out with a decent risk to reward, but just because you would have wanted a full move, you would have ended up with less than what you should have gotten in the first place. That is why some people, they stick to 1:2, some people stick to 1:1, some people stick to 1:3, right? So that was it for oil. That was the whole top down on oil. Very simple and easy trade. So that was it. I'm gonna put the receipts up somewhere so that you could see. But that was the trade on oil. Let's go ahead and jump over to gold. Gold was a bit more interesting. I'll definitely tell you that gold was definitely a bit more interesting. So seeing that we're on the daily time frame, let's look at what I saw. I'm pretty sure over a few weeks, a lot of people, even on the internet, I noticed, they were drawing lines, and when they had this move right here, this move right here, everybody was like, okay, gold is going to be bearish, gold is going to be bearish. But I said to myself, it just makes sense to wait. Just makes sense to wait before I get an opportunity to execute on gold. When gold pushed up here, they retrace back into at least 50% of this range here, right here. They push a second time, okay, doing what? Leaving behind another daily fair value gap. I just said to myself, okay, now I know for a fact that gold wants to move to the upside. What I now need to do is look for an opportunity for me to enter. All right. So all of those days right here, I did not play around with gold. We had a nice bearish FVG right here. Well, let me see if I could just draw that. I think that's the wrong tool. Let me go ahead and delete that. But nevertheless, we could see it. Oh boy. Nevertheless, we could see it. We had a very small, a very tiny FVG right here. And we could see gold tapped into it. They pushed down, they respected it. And then gold pushed up, disrespecting this FVG here. Okay. Already we got all of this bullish sentiment from gold respecting 50% of the range here, creating under fair value gap here, and now we're getting a disrespect after they respected this tiny fair value gap. We got a disrespect right here due to the fact that gold closed bullishly outside of the fair value gap. So if they were to respect bullish structure, they needed to respect that fair value gap and move lower down, right? Creating further fair value gaps to the downside. But they didn't. So this was just telling me, hey, gold wants to move bullishly. So what did I see coming off of the daily time frame? Okay. So on the 4-hour, when we jump down to the 4-hour, we had this 4-hour fair value gap right here. We saw gold tapped into it. I did not just jump into that 4-hour fair value gap and entered aggressively. I actually hopped down to my 50-minute, and this is what I wanted to do at the time, but I will show you how I actually executed and entered. So when I saw gold crash into our 4-hour fair value gap, he had one push creating a 15-minute fair value gap, and second push creating another 15-minute fair value gap, right? That push, they retraced, forming a smaller time frame high, and then you had a second push, right? Another smaller high being created. I wanted to execute off of this retracement, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to see gold liquidate that low. I wanted to see gold push below that low, right, and then continue higher. So at the time, this is where I had my buy limit, right? My stops would have been right here. But of course, you could see gold just tapped into it and then they push all the way up. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It looks like I'm not going to get an opportunity. So I said to myself, okay, plan B, time for plan B, seeing that I will not get a buy opportunity down here. I need to get a buy opportunity. So what I did, I placed a buy limit right here. Place my buy limit right here. Okay. So as you could see, we had a 15-minute fair value gap, another big one to the upside, doing what? Overlapping with this high right here. Okay. Or you could say this consolidation, but if you go to your line chart, it's really and truly a high. So a high overlapping with a fair value gap is a lot stronger than a fair value gap by itself. So that's just a gem for you. You could take that. So when I realized I had a nice little clean setup here, I placed my limit here, and as you could see, gold tap into it. My stops, I believe, how did I have my stops? I think I have, let me go ahead and pull back. Yeah, so my stops was here. The close of this 1 hour low right here, if you go on your line chart, you could definitely see it's a low. So the close of this 1 hour low right here, this is where my stops were. That's where my stops was. And of course, I targeted a daily high. So this is the high that I targeted. This high right here. And you could see, let's just go back down to 15 minutes. You could see after gold tap here, somewhere in the Asian session, there was a massive push to the upside. Massive, really massive push to the upside. And essentially, you know, I think during New York or something, it hit TP. Okay, so it looks like during Asia, it hit TP. So as you could see right here, massive push to the upside, TP hit, and that was it for the trade. So that was essentially it for last week's trade. I hope you were able to gather something from that video. If you were able to learn something from the video, be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe. Like I always say, it's completely free of charge. Definitely helps the channel. And of course, I'm going to touch base with you next weekend. Hope you have a good one. Ciao.